Less than a week from now, the trial is set to begin. So it's pretty exciting. But also very exciting is that jury selection is happening today, Tuesday. So it'll be pretty wild to find out what kind of jurors they select and if the judge allowed jurors that have lost or dealt with any kind of crypto. Because remember that Scam Sam's lawyers, they were trying to avoid having any jurors at all that have ever lost a single dollar in any kind of cryptocurrency, which of course is kind of an umbrella way of basically covering anyone who's ever dealt in cryptocurrency. And it makes no sense because this jury selection would basically cover not those that got rug pulled, but just any single person ever that has lost a single dollar in crypto. So if the judge allows that, absolutely catastrophic, because that also means that it would have ignorant jurors, people that have no exposure, no familiarity at all with any kind of crypto or Bitcoin. Of course, if you have a jury pool that is totally alienated and or 1000% absolutely ignorant about anything that happens in fintech, financial tech, cryptocurrency, anyone who's not aware of any of this stuff, that means that the jurors would be absolutely clueless as to all the that has played out in the crypto sphere regarding all of the scammery, all of the rug pulls, all of the that so many people have experienced. Billions and billions of dollars lost across multiple exchanges, across multiple countries, across multiple scams. So Scam Sam's lawyers are frothing at the ability to pick clueless, innocent, ignorant jurors. So of course that would be catastrophic for anyone looking or hoping to see just a smidget, just a little tiny smidget of justice in this world where apparently crime pays up. Scam freaking Sam being a perfect demonstration of this messed up legal system where, of course, the more money you have, the more favors you get. But in a major positive move, CoinDesk just reported that Scam Sam's defense will not be allowed to blame the lawyers, the counsel for FTX, essentially preventing Scam Sam's lawyers making the argument that the executives, the people at the top of the company, basically the people running the show, the people in charge at the top of the crypto exchange are not to blame. So essentially Scam Sam's lawyers were trying to make the argument that all of the fault, all of the scammery, all of the missing money, and the whole collapse was in fact all decisions and actions that were taken by FTX counsel, by FTX lawyers, that these lawyers, these counsels, were involved in decisions such as using encrypted messaging like Signal app where the messages could be auto-deleted. Interesting. On top of that, they're saying that these lawyers were also involved in suggesting that the loans that FTX made to Alameda were kosher, were okay. So all about pointing fingers at somebody else. Basically, kind of I suppose a good defense is just to point the fingers at somebody else straight away. But Judge Kaplan is preventing that, with the judge saying that the best can be done for now is to ensure that the court will have sufficient notice to make appropriate rulings on a case-by-case basis in terms of each argument. Because of course this would put all the blame on attorneys that are hired to do a job, yet they're not exactly the ones running the show. So all this makes sense. All this by Judge Kaplan makes a lot of perfect sense. But Judge Kaplan did say they could bring up this argument, this blame on FTX lawyers at a later date in the trial. So I'm sure they'll try to bring it back up. They just have to get approval, apparently. So it's interesting that Kaplan is taking this position in terms of trying to not taint the jurors. And of course, this defense argument basically smells like a pile of because some of the top FTX executives have already been flipped, have already cut deals with the prosecutors. So throwing all the blame on the lawyers that the company hired isn't exactly the best argument to make. It's irrational. Of course, the top 3 executives that prosecutors were able to cut deals with our favorites, Caroline Ellison, Gary Wang, and Nishad Singh. So all those people are basically dooming Scam Sam's bullshit argument against his lawyers, against the lawyers that worked for FTX. They want to blame the old lawyers working at FTX as the essential people to blame for all the collapse. Ironic, I think, because, of course, Scam Sam's dad and his mother were both lawyers. And his dad, of course, advised FTX. He was in charge for a while of running the show when it came to legal matters, where he is on video saying that he was going to help FTX and Scam Sam help in a legal capacity. Well, kind of speaks for itself, doesn't it? They were supposedly planning to base their opening remarks at trial, essentially to kick off Scam Sam's defense. So it's kind of a kick to the balls of the defense team, which is, of course, something that anyone looking forward to any sort of justice is, of course, seeing this in a good way. According to CoinDesk, Scam Sam's team had informed the DOJ, the Department of Justice, and the judge that they were planning on making this argument. But Judge Kaplan, seeing the light of fairness, possibly, Judge Kaplan decided that this could confuse the jurors, which I'm sure if it's just a bunch of ignorant jurors, they'll be confused nonetheless, especially when it comes to the crypto. And I'm using the word ignorant on purpose. This is just to point out people that are lacking knowledge or comprehension on a specific topic, which is the true definition of ignorant. Not to say that these people are not intelligent, not smart, or not educated. So just keep that in mind when I use the word ignorant. In one interesting report from Fortune, they're reporting that the prosecutors, the DOJ, is potentially going to call witnesses, FTX customers, as witnesses to detail how much money they lost, how basically their lives have been financially ruined because of Scam Sam. Also, Fortune does say that it's not just the retail investors that they could call upon, but also it could be institutional investors, basically big name companies. And of course, their losses ranges really high, upwards of millions and millions of dollars that companies threw at Scam Sam. Scam Sam running his business, his scam business, essentially. So there's gonna be a lot of hatred towards Scam Sam. But honestly, I don't think Scam Sam cares. The guy is living in La La Land. He probably thinks all his political donations will get him off. And he might just get off. We'll have to wait and see. In another twist of events, the famed Michael Lewis is writing a book about Scam Sam called Going Infinite. Probably infinite bank account is what he's referring to. Anyway, so this guy went on 60 Minutes just on Sunday night, went on to say that Scam Sam, the former crypto finance CEO, met with a big shot politician, Senate GOP Mitch McConnell, apparently ahead of the 2022 election. I don't know, he's buying favors, buying votes, who knows? Anyways, apparently McConnell persuaded Scam Sam, so says Michael Lewis, to donate millions and millions of dollars against Orange Man. So buying favors and throwing money left and right at politicians was just another pastime of Scam Sam. Well, pretty easy to believe. Anyways, I also hope they call this guy up as a witness. Aditya Bharadwaj. So the poor bastard was essentially convinced by Scam Sam to invest, of course, in crypto, but specifically in FTX. Fortunately for him, the software engineer was working with FTX, at FTX, enjoying his lavish, spoiled lifestyle in the Bahamas, living next to Scam Sam and his orgy parties, and blowing money left and right, living it up as a crypto tech bro, and it all came crashing down, of course. When this guy realized it was all crashing down, this guy was working in Hong Kong office of FTX, and he was really worried. He was paranoid that he would end up in a Chinese jail, which I'm guessing they don't f around there. And apparently him and other staffers sat around with a video conference call from Caroline Ellison, where she basically explained, well, that it was all just going under. Apparently one guy in the room, somebody working there in the Hong Kong office, asked point blank to Caroline Ellison who made the decision to use FTX deposited money, FTX user deposit. Caroline Ellison just saying, Sam, I guess. Ouch. This guy should be a witness. So this gentleman, Aditya, he said he was shocked, of course, along with his, coworkers. Apparently so shocked, they literally had to book flights and get out of China because, they didn't want to be arrested in China. If you're going to be arrested, might as well be somewhere cushy, like, United States or Europe. Anyways, the New York Post said this guy was so paranoid about ending up in a Chinese jail, he quit the next day and bought a plane ticket to get the hell out of there. Makes sense. He would make a perfect example of someone who's not at the top, is a middleman. Middleman at FTX who also lost his life savings. This guy even posted on X his whole story. Pretty interesting. And it does seem a little crazy that your boss, your former boss, like he says here, would steal all of your life savings. I mean, how up is that? You probably hate him. And who can blame him, right? Who can blame him? Would make a great witness. Well, I'm super curious to find out what the hell happens with the jury selection. I think that's kind of a big deal. So I'm looking forward to the news that comes out today about that. And of course, I'll probably make another update shortly thereafter. All right, guys. Well, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. Smash a like. Please do subscribe if you haven't. And I will see you in the next one.